Sometimes the low-hanging fruit is so low it hits you in the head and you just gotta look up and go, the fuck? Oh, God. Honestly, I had something set up for today and realized it's gonna be more work than I realized at first. It's gonna take me a lot longer to do. So, history may not always repeat itself, but it can sometimes rhyme and sing you a little song, and that's how I feel about this. I'm just going to be going kind of full circle. There's already been so many takes about DarkSydePhil, Phil Burnell's take on the Wolverine trailer. I just thought I would bring us back to a classic. Kind of make it full circle in a way, just to, I guess, show off the tourist that DSP is for, like, fandom and things. Because any opinion other people, like, detractors have about him is usually backed up by evidence. Like this video here. Special thanks to Pixar Animations for this one. I tried to find the one where DSP reacts to the trailer. I have to use another person's channel for that one as well. Just, like, clip here and there, but just gonna let this rock in anytime I gotta come in and comment on things. But yeah, this was back in 2013 as prefaced by Pixar Animations. It was the Hate Live back when he was the King of Hate. Not sure what he's the king of now. Can he still call himself the King of Hate? And look at that, just be like, Anyway.
The next question is from Taco Manx.
Getting off my topic here.
Taco Man X, I'm not sure. And he says, is there something as a kid that you desperately wanted but you never got? Like a toy or a video game. Now this is a funny story. This is a very funny story, okay? When I was a kid, there was this one year.
That was funny.
This one year. And let me, please, all of you on the stream, if you are a parent, if you plan to be a parent someday, please heed my advice, because this is something that, just heed my advice. If you listen to this story, this will help.
What parent is watching this? I don't mean this, but, like, the original video in 2013, like, or would admit to being one and be like, well, I listened to this guy and I raised a little bastard.
Help you, okay? When I was a child, I was very different than the other children. My mom could take me to the local store.
Sorry.
And what she would
That's
do,
low-hanging
she would go
fruit
to the
right
toy
there.
department first, before we looked at
So
anything else
tiny.
in the store. She would say, okay, Philip, because she used to call me Philip. She would say, okay, Philip,
Philip with a U? I always had the inside joke of the birth certificate being a misprint. They meant to call you Fail instead of Phil. Anyway, look what we got here. Is this just all... Oh my god, old-ass Lincoln Log toys. Nah, I guess they're not that old. I would see them from time to time. Just turn it... Sorry, there we go.
pick any toy, and I would look around. Ooh, I like that one. And she'd hand it to me, and I would look at it. And the whole time we were in the store, I would just look at the toy.
He-Man.
Look at the toy, look, oh, it's nice. It's an awesome toy. I would read all the packaging.
I saw the name, then I saw the person, then I saw the
that I
shirt.
had back then, but I would read as much as I could. You know, look at colorful packaging. I remember back then the biggest thing was He-Man figures. So it'd be hours my mom would be in the store shopping for different stuff or whatever. And then finally at the end of the day, we would go back to the
That
toy
doesn't make him
department,
a
I would
bad
put the toy
person,
back.
okay?
And I wouldn't bitch and moan. I wouldn't demand that my mom buy it for me. I knew that that was just a normal day. She was there to go get groceries or whatever it was we were there for. And that when it was either my birthday or a holiday, that's when I would get my toy. I remember this one time. Now, this was much later than that. That was when I was a small child. When I was much older, 10 to 12, whatever, range. And this one time, I was into, again, I still liked action figures. I was into the X-Men action figures at this time. I got to go into detail a little bit about this. This was absolutely nuts. So... You know, toys are for kids, right? What happened back then is that because the comic book fad was so big, other things that were offshoots of comic books also became collectible and highly valued. So, for example, the X-Men figures, when they came to a store, the box would have like a lot of a certain figures and very little of others. And one of the ones that was the variant that was rare was Wolverine, which was nuts. Why would you make Wolverine the variant that only has a few per box of shipment? Because
Supply and demand. Scummy practice, but yeah, it's one of those sad but true things.
Wolverine is one of the most popular characters in the X-Men universe.
Yep.
So the Wolverine figure was very rare at the time, okay? And I remember, I went to a comic book store one day with my parents.
Action
And the Wolverine figure was there. And it was expensive. It was like maybe I think
wait.
figure was there, and it was expensive with my parents.
Action, Jesus, I almost missed that. Who edits this? Is this all this guy, Pixar?
And the Wolverine figure was there, and it was expensive. It was like maybe I think $20-25, when really the other figures only cost like $7-8. So this one was worth $3 to $4.
That's the comic book version, the Uncanny X-Men.
Rarity. And I turned to my mother and father and I said, guys, listen.
What the fish in here?
I want that action figure for my birthday. So, please, what I would ask you, I've never asked you to do this before. We know how rare that figure is. We know we've been to stores endlessly and we've never seen it in the flesh. It's finally here in front of our faces. Please buy the figure now. Hide it from me for whatever, for months until my birthday, and give it to me on my birthday. This will ensure that I will get this action figure because we know how rare it is. And it's the first time we've seen it. And I begged with my parents, and I pleaded with my parents to get it, right? So the way it worked is that maybe once a week we would go to the comic book store. And so like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row, they still didn't buy it, right? Week 4 we go back. It's gone. We asked the store owner what happened. Someone bought it, and I have not, we haven't gotten any more. We've gone to other, it's so popular, we've gone to toy stores. No one can find this action figure anymore. It's that rare. So my birthday came and passed, and guess what? My parents go, we're very sorry, Philip, but we couldn't find the action figure. I said, I told you to buy the figure. Why don't you listen to me? Like,
would not have happened in the Searching for Rinoa household. I can say this because we're the same age. Now, I know nowadays we live in a society where you don't raise a hand to your kids, but 80s, early 90s? We haven't had that conversation where it was what didn't like stunt growth or anything like that. I could make the argument here that it turned Phil into the whiny opportunist he became today. Like, you go on his streams now, he's not even hiding the fact or like pretending away that he's just a beg. It's not even, you can't even call it begging anymore. He's demanding. Like, let's get some subs right now.
Like, it was such a no-brainer. All they had to do was buy it then. They could have hidden it forever. I would have never bugged them for it till my birthday. I knew I was going to get it on my birthday. Because they didn't buy it, I didn't get it. I didn't get that figure. I kid you not. I did not get that figure for almost a year.
That implies he did get the figure later? And it mirrors kind of my story when 1 year for Christmas, I personally wanted the NES version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. You played it in arcades, you played it in the store. It's like, they're making a home version of that. That was a must get. And the 1 year I think I got games, but not that one. I had to wait a whole other year. I think it was like, maybe it was like too expensive at the time or something like that. I don't know. They're not around to ask anymore, so I have no clue. I can only assume.
And the reason I got it is because the
I know they remember.
Manufacturer realized it was so popular that they were idiots for not making enough. They did a second run, and of course now the figure was valueless because everyone had it because it was the second run figure.
Why as a kid would you care more about, like, this is what I wanted to highlight, this here, the value of it, not just have the figure, have the toy, like enjoy it as a toy, but why value? Are you trying to hold on to it and sell it for later or something like that? Like, this ties to how Phil is, is all about the money now and never about anything like fun or enjoyable on streams or anything like that. Because, you see it, he's just, like, I could be paid to stay there and stand around and just look at a screen uneventfully. I'd like to think I use better use of my time and yours by doing that. I don't want to just sit there and demand money or beg for it. Again, I think I was raised a certain way, and Phil was raised his way, and
Here. So I did eventually get it, but it was the second run, and of course now it's a year later. Do you really think that something I wanted a year ago is as valuable as, but then I was already starting to move into other stuff. So I give you this advice. If you're a parent and your kid definitely tells you they want something and you see it ahead of time, you fucking buy it. You don't wait, because this is what happens. every year with Tickle. Remember they had Tickle Me Elmo. They had all these toys.
Did they
every
want
year
that
was
too?
the hot toy, and parents don't listen. They don't buy it when they see it. They wait, and then all of a sudden, last minute, everyone goes to buy it, and you don't get it. And now you look like an ass in front of your kid that you couldn't go just do the simple thing of buy them the thing that was.
You look like an ass in front of your kid. Instead of you acting like an ass in front of your parents. And again, as kids, we all went through the entitlement. It's just a very like childish mentality of being like, you don't like, oh, you don't do this for me and blah blah. Just really comes off as disrespectful, really. I'm someone that, I guess I'm someone that can look back and think about stuff like that. Phil looks at it like a slight against him. Like, the fact that he probably still brings it up to this time and period. Well, later on, he'll retcon it.
There and available right in front of their face at one point, and it's very disappointing for the kid. So, if you can get it ahead of time, get it ahead of time. Okay. Now, let's see. And yes, I see someone asking in the chat, yes, my parents did have the money to buy it. They were just fucking stupid.
How do you know they had the money to buy it? Were they rich and well off? Again, I'm just like grasping. But yeah, that's the classic Wolverine toy. I'm going to go now to, I tried to find it on Raw Phil if he, if that channel highlighted the, him reacting to the new trailer for the Wolverine game. Like, his takes can't have gotten worse with age and neglect from the outside world, right? You already know the answer to that one. This is from Green Ultra Acid. I'm just going to be highlighting this one just to get Phil's reactions here. I don't know if it has all of it, but it should be enough for the trailer. It's not that much, just a couple of things. Phil takes longer to explain it. He like me as a rambler, trying to get his point across.
So for the record, all right, when Wolverine debuted, he was a violent character, but this is before the era of ultra-violent comics. So when he debuted, he had claws and everything, but he didn't really kill anyone. His first fight was...
With those claws, he was sent to kill the Hulk. What'd you think he was going to do with those claws? Tickle him to submission? I don't like how he talks about the comics back then as if this is indicative of that. It's a trailer for a Wolverine game in 2025 current year. Not even a minute in! And there's already two things wrong with what Phil said.
Against the Incredible Hulk. Later on, they changed the character, and his origin story is that they did all these experiments on him, and he loses control. He becomes this kind of berserker, and he does kill a whole bunch of people in a gory massacre. Later on, Professor X meets him, and essentially what happens is Professor X helps him come to terms with this bestial nature that he has. Yes, he does get berserker rages, but he controls them. He uses them.
How does he control them if he's on a berserker rage? Like, that doesn't even, a controlled rage? Like, again, if you have to, think about it for, just a second, it's like, wow, what he just said seems a little dented. Sorry. I'm using, insider detractor terms, but, there really is no other better way to describe it.
Them for benefit and for good, rather than for mass slaughter. The entire...
He's always been using it for good, mostly. The mass slaughter thing came from his captors who experimented on him and put the skeleton on him. The adamantium, he's had the claws for a long time. He's had the animal thing for a long time. He started with that. The adamantium's what they did to him. And they did it to him because, he has this power. He can survive the bonding process. That's why we can do this with him. That's why he did it with a couple other characters who could also survive that process, like Sabretooth and Deadpool.
The time that Wolverine was in comics, he wasn't just killing hundreds of people, okay? Literally.
He was killing hundreds of people. That's what he do. His whole raison d'etre, his whole mantra is, I'm the best at what I do. You go back to my channel, personally, the first game I play is X-Men Legends. First character you play as is Wolverine, and that's one of his things he says when he drops somebody with his claws. What do you think he does with his claws? Talk him to death? I almost feel bad for the guys in that game. You're very beginning, you're fighting guys with, sticks. I'm like, what are you gonna do? At least here, he's fighting, well, you'll see later, you may or may not see this in the trailer. I didn't really look at this ahead of time. I'm just trying to cut through all the other stuff to get to Phil's comments here.
The opening scene they just showed is Wolverine, and it appears to be the modernized Wolverine. This isn't the classic Wolverine. That's Wolverine in, like, his outfit when he used to live in Canada.
Yeah, because it is a modern game. This isn't, well, there might be some, I don't know if they'll put in, like, time travel stuff. For what the trailer I see so far, it's like Insomniac doing an M-rated Wolverine game, which is, I think, what a lot of us were asking for. Like, they're gonna do a Wolverine game? Like, this is gonna be M-rated. It's gotta be. It's gonna suck if it's not M-rated. And I think the Deadpool Wolverine movie kind of prefaced that as well. Like, if it's not, like, M-rated, yeah, there's no point. I'm thankful for this, for the game itself. Hopefully it does well. We need a standalone Wolverine game that isn't garbage. It's the True Lies line of, you ever killed anybody? Yeah, but they were all bad. Yeah. Wolverine's always been kill or be killed. Like, he comes off like he's never seen, like this is, again, falls back to where Phil might be, like, a tourist. Like, he doesn't really understand, or he's just being contrarian to be contrarian. I really don't get it.
First of all, I wonder who is voice acting him. I don't recognize the voice actor, and that's shocking that I don't recognize the voice actor, because usually for a game like this, they would that's what I mean. Is it Troy Baker?
He has something to say, like, is Troy Baker voicing him? Again, holding grudges. Somebody new voicing Wolverine. Well, not new. He's in a couple of movies. From the trailer, what he sounded like, I'm like, if he can do a good performance, I don't care who voices him, really. That should be But Phil's like, who's voicing him? I don't recognize him. Is it Troy Baker? Like, the grudge boner this individual has is Brobdingnagian inside.
That's number one. Number two, that game is ultra violent. Like, insanely
Wolverine is ultra violent.
Like, that's wild, the amount of violence and gore in it. And obviously that's going to be rated mature. There's no way that's going to be a game for kids, but all the kids are going to want to play it.
They shouldn't. That's what the rating's for, so they don't. It's GTA, They want to play GTA. They can't. They shouldn't. The parents' discretion, not yours. Like, this guy's talking like he lives in a nanostate or something like that. Which, if you've seen a couple of his, I guess you would, again, just kind of just go a little bit away from the topic here. Like, infested with crime in Seattle, Washington. Like, it just comes off like the most, like, the slightest slate. The slightest of slates against him, and he has to pepper his pre-stream with it. Some of them are longer than the game he was playing. And then he complains, there's no time to... My God. Sorry, and then I keep veering off to other things, like, but other people have said better than I could probably put together. I word salad too.
So what I'm wondering is, number one, did you see how many times he stabbed someone straight into the brain and murdered them? No, that's not the character.
Many a time. Many a time. And even before he got the claws. Well, no, he always had the claws, the adamantium, I'm saying. The man's fought fucking world wars in the past. He is well versed at taking people out to kill or be killed. That's why he always says he's the best at what he does, and what he does isn't pretty. That's the full... We always get, like, the first half of it, or at least that's what I remember from X-Men Legends. But yeah, Wolverine caught bodies, and to have it be, like... They couldn't, in the past, do games like that, because games... I think back then, Nintendo Entertainment System, they were thought as for kids, but adults can get in and play them too. There never really was, like, that much for... gaming... And comic book culture has changed. Comic book culture, I think, has always been radically anti-censorship. Like, a lot of their, like... There's probably, like, a comic code later on, but back then there's probably, like, the... I'm thinking Creepshow with a lot of their, like, it's spooky, scary stuff. Like, they wouldn't show this, and, again, back to Phil being the... little nanny state protector thing. It's like, this isn't good for kids. What do you have to worry about? You don't have kids. I know your wife looks 9 months pregnant, but that you don't have a penis to fuck her with to get her that way. That was a little toxic. Sorry, not sorry.
He's like about to die or something happened to a loved one, right? Near and dear to him. He'll kill.
How do we know that that's not happened here? The story could be prefaced. This could be John Wick right here, but just with claws. It takes very little to set Wolverine off. Regardless, even if they don't do that, it's just...
Kill like that. But that's not the standard character. The standard character is, he is an X-Man, a hero. He wasn't always, but...
He's not here. This isn't X-Men's Insomniac Wolverine. This is Wolverine. I'm old enough to have seen the Frank Miller comic where he was in Japan fighting the Hand. I think it was the Hand, or was it just a sect of ninjas working for Shingen, which is one of the movies. I think one of the scenes in the trailer, he goes to Japan. We've seen Madripoor, so I'm thinking like, ooh, there's just gonna be a shit ton of costume DLC, like Patch, you know. He might have like the Age of Apocalypse one, where he's got the... There might be a Marvels one with the yellow coat or something like that, like tie in if they want to or something like that.
But he is not some kind of vicious brute killer who just murders everyone around him. Did the people who made the game actually ever read the comics?
Did you? Again, he's fought literal world wars. I'm surprised Wolverine has the rogues gallery he has. Then again, they might be nigh unkillable. But for the most part, he's cutting down just like think of any Wolverine game at all that you might have played. His main attack is the claws. It might not always be cutting people open, but what do you do with metal claws made of metal claws of any substance? I'm not even getting to the adamantium thing. Like just even before with the claws that were made of his bones. Before his skeleton was laced with the adamantium. Does Phil know this? You gotta look and ask. You gotta think for just a minute. And if you're a DSP's audience, you know, thinking isn't big on you. You just sit there, give money, and consume product. It's not even consume product. It's watching him consume product because you give him money to consume product and judge it badly. It's $800 for him to sit there and eat whatchamacallit. I'd rather pay not even 1/100th of that to eat it my damn self. I think that's how Snacking for Rinoa got started as a slate against him. I think one of my earliest ones were talking to him at the time, being just very and not chewing into the microphone as well.
I mean, now here's the thing. Maybe the plot is not only are they all out to brutally murder Wolverine, but they murdered his family members or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You don't, so shut up.
Again, they could go any number of ways, and knowing Wolverine's character, they don't even have to do that. It's just the game start could a little bit just drop him in on on his given Wolverine's history. They could drop him anywhere. They could drop him in. They could have scenes in. Oh, here's Canada. Here's this chapter in Canada. Here's this chapter in Japan. Here's this chapter in Madripoor. Here's this chapter in New York, where the X-Men are. They could bring those characters in as well. We've already seen them from the trailer Mystique. So that's got to be a friend or foe, maybe? I've seen him fight Omega Red as well. Say, you want a Wolverine game, you bring the Rogues Gallery with him. So, where's that taking place? Russia, maybe? If that?
Silly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this is not in line with the character. Wolverine should have, if there's going to be a segment like that, let's say in one part of the game, he has a romantic interest and they get murdered. Now he loses control and there's an...
Again, have you read the comics? Wolverine has had many love interests that have been brutally murdered. Like that there's half, a good portion of his character. He murders so that doesn't happen anymore. That's why he's so very, violently protective of the X-Men, his stuff with, I I think he's protective of Jubilee, Shadowcat. I couldn't find the Wolverine book. I found the Iron Man one, though. Like these ultimate guides, they're done by, there's these big, like, hardback books. Just these large guides of all the comics, the history of these characters. I got one for Iron Man, I got one for Spider-Man, I got one for, I was looking for the Wolverine run. It's just big, bright red outside. Yeah, it details like his very, very tragic and violent past and how it's kind of been mucked with by this Romulus character or something like that. Even I couldn't, it would take me longer than probably just to try and piece it all together myself. But again, does he have this knowledge? He could probably have knowledge of this if he did like research, if he looked online and probably found something. That's the point I'm trying to make. Does he know? Has he read a comic? Or is he his head so far up his own ass, reality doesn't appear to is anything to him anymore?
An entire hour of the game where he's lost control and you brutally murder people. Okay? That would make sense.
He's not brutally murdering people, not just anybody. He is a superhero. His methodology is violent. But comic books heroes for a long time are, in essence, vigilantes. In essence, a little above the set law and order that would protect guys like these. You know, Daredevil, Wolverine, the Punisher. Even on DC's side of things, Batman, Superman, that's been like a topic for like many movies there. Just recently, the new Superman movie, he might be dangerous because he operates above the law and does his own thing. I don't understand the too violent thing. It's fucking Wolverine! Violence is who the fuck he is! This is like making a Punisher game and the only thing that comes out of his guns are very childish insults. He's played Marvel vs. Capcom 2. The one with 2 Wolverines in it. Does he know about that? He probably memory hold it because there's only like so many characters in that game that are like top tier. That's the only ones he messes with and that's the only ones he cares to know. You know what I mean? Again, I could make that argument and I could make that opinion and backed by stuff that people have showcased Phil doing and saying and acting out. My opinion might hold more weight than his. Because all we got at the end of the day is like, oh, it's a snippet of truth. Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, that person's an idiot. That, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, they didn't get that from me. It's your channel. It's your noise hole that's making the sounds that sound like you said and did the things that you're doing. But yeah, I just thought to, like, include, like, the beginning and end thing there just to kind of bring it all home and make the argument, I guess, that DSP has always been, current DSP is just, like, how it started was...
Some of this isn't your fault. I mean, a man can only take so many wedgies before he goes to pieces. Good luck to you, buddy.
You don't understand who you threaten. I have powers. Terrible powers! Why what?
And how it's going now is...
Just when I think you've said the stupidest thing ever, you keep talking.
For some of us who might not even know DSP that much and have reacted to it for the first time, we look at this and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing anyone's ever said. For Phil, it's a day ending in fucking Y! But yeah, I guess he's always been a tourist or contrarian to just for contrarian's sake. Anyway, with that said, take care. Thanks for watching.